So before we actually get to the drugs, let's talk about the things people usually say when it comes to talking about treatments for depression, which you don't, well, okay, you might hear it sometimes with other conditions, but you tend to hear this a lot more with mental health conditions like depression. Oh, you just need to sleep more, good diet, exercise. And to be fair, there is some evidence that, sleep, exercise are beneficial for mental health. But let me just say, if you think that a person who is severely depressed, who cannot even get out of bed, and you think telling them to get some more exercise when they cannot even move their bodies is a good idea, please don't do that, okay? Do not do that, okay? This kind of advice, we prefer to tell people this before the depression comes in. We not talk about sleep hygiene, aerobic and exercise and resistance training. Yeah, sure. This is more for health promotion advice. But, when a person is depressed already, they're going to have a hard time doing a lot of this. Especially when you talk about the social determinants of health, housing, livelihood, etc., etc. Okay, so in the meantime, now we're going to talk about antidepressants are so not a big deal. Big whoop, your antidepressant. So, when we get to psych meds, it's always a lot of people struggle with this, and we're here to help you realize that they really are not so much of a big deal. Like losartan, metformin, all that. That's the goal. Okay, I want you to be able to treat the meds here as you would the other medications. They're both medications, right? And they're both essential medications. So why do we treat psych meds differently? And to help you out, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna just focus on the meds we have in the Philippines. Because if you want to include everything, that's a big waste of time. Because when you go into actual practice, there are only just so many of them. We can cut out like half the content by focusing on the ones we have, and even more by prioritizing the ones that we actually use a lot more in practice in primary, secondary care. So you have a legend in the handout. You can follow the legend in the handout. Here in the presentation and the cheat sheet, we have a different legend but medyo similar. Siyempre, yung mga taga-highlight, sila yung mga pinakagamit. The ones that are highlighted are the ones that are most used. So you will notice that I will really be focusing on just these three. Sorry, I'm not used to the pointing. Let's do the pointing. There we go. Okay. I can rotate my body now. The three of those. Okay, escitalopram, fluoxetine, sertraline. You master those three, you're good. Yes, we'll go through the others, sure, but you master those three, you're good. Okay? There are some add-ons, but we will discuss them in their relevant sections for the YouTube playlist, which you can check out in the links below. Again, you can just do self-reading on the drugs we don't have in the Philippines, the experimental stuff. That's, again, really a big waste of time, really, if we spend too much time on them,